Whoa! What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, and it's a little after 8, so you know what time that is. That's right. It is time for Big Mike's 444 Locker Room podcast, only here on Out of the Box Sports Network. I am your host, Mike Laro, a.k.a. Big Mike. What is going on, everybody? And we got an action-packed show for you tonight. Definitely some major news coming out of Phillies camp today. Big injury. Rhys Hoskins could be done for the season. I'm hearing it's an ACL tear, a full ACL. If that's the case, looks like he will be gone for the year. So, as much as we kind of chuckled and laughed about the crazy injuries from the Mets standpoint, looks like karma has come back to bite us Phillies fans in the rear end with Rhys. Again, non-contact play, just went back to play the ball, and it was on natural grass. It wasn't even on turf. Looks like his ACL is done, so he looks like he will be done for the year. But with that being said, I am still not wavering. I believe this team is talented enough. I do believe Alec Boehm and Derek Hall can both make up for Rhys's loss this year. So my only issue right now is the bullpen arms, or the starting pitching arms. With all this tightness and all this stuff that these guys are going through right now, starting pitching wise, Ranger Suarez still feeling a little tightness and stiffness in his throwing arm. Bailey Falter also, with tightness and soreness in his arm. Andrew Painter is not going to be thrown for at least another month. So starting pitchers looking a little frazzled right now for the Phillies, but I still think at the end of the day, they will be right where they need to be. So with that being said, I know it's a lot of doom and gloom here to open the show, but unfortunately, I don't write the news. I just report it, and hopefully, it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is. Once we get more of an official word about what's going on with Rhys, I've seen conflicting reports right now, but it looks like it's an ACL tear. If that is the case, he will be gone for the season, which I hope in a way that he is done. The Phillies try to find a way to bring him back. That's not the way I believe you want to go out, is on an injury. So, but like I said, the Phillies are blessed. Even with Rhys going down today, they still have, like I said, they can play Alec Boehm at first base. They can move Edwin Sosa over to third. They do have Derek Hall. They can put Derek Hall in, which I believe is Derek can be capable. I mean, Rhys hit 30 home runs last year. I do believe between Derek and Alec Boehm, I think they can easily cover that. So I think the Phillies are in good shape, man. What's up, Danny O? Yeah, it sucks for Rhys. But, hey, this is that time of year, Mandy. You get these quirky things. And if you ever take notice, too, Bowman's pretty solid. He's gotten better. He's actually got a little bigger this year. They said he added about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle in the offseason. So he kind of grew into his body a little bit. So I'm looking for a little bit of change with Alec Boehm as far as, he's hitting all fields. But I'm really looking forward to wishing him a speedy recovery. Thank you, Eileen. I'm really looking forward to see how Alec plays out. Also, there's a nice little battle going on here for this Phillies final spot between Scott Kingery, who is a former high pick of the Phillies, and Jim Crave, a guy who they signed from the Detroit Tigers this year. Coming in, nice little battle going on to see which one of those guys is going to get that final spot on the Phillies bench this year. Honestly, I would like to see Crave get it. I think he's done real well in spring training. He's got over a 500 batting average. He's got over a 400 on base percentage. He's got half of his hits are extra base hits. I like Scotty Jetpacks, but to be honest with you, I really don't see where he's going to fit in. I think it's time for the Phillies to maybe package him in a trade, send him somewhere. Maybe get some depth somewhere else. because I just don't see Scott Kingery being a part of it. He doesn't fit anywhere in this organization. He started as an infielder. They tried to move him to outfielder, and I just don't see him being able to really kind of help this team. And are you really going to let him waste away another year in the minors? So maybe he might be some part of some package this year. Maybe try to get something in. You trade away a guy like Kingery. He could be a trade piece later. But, yeah, the injury bug has definitely hit the Phillies. So as much as I was laughing at the Mets and their guy, tearing an ACL for dancing, I mean, ours just went back to play a ground ball, and down he went. So, that's a rough one to bite, man. But, injuries do happen in this game. And, I just feel like the Phillies, they're a lot better team this year than they were a year ago. And one of the reasons why is, and I guess America and really the rest of the world got to see it during this World Baseball Classic, is Trey Turner. This dude, wow. He was money. And if he's going to hit the ball if he hits the ball like he did in that, that WBC, he starts hitting the ball like that, playing for the Phillies, my God, dude, they're going to score a lot of runs. Dude, the Phillies put up crooked numbers last year. You imagine this dude at the top of the lineup? Jesus. It's literally going to be a murderer's row. It really is. The Phillies, the one thing I can say about them going forward is they did something last year that they kind of broke baseball. There's actually a YouTube video on it. I forget the guy's name. He made it. It says right on there why the 2022 Phillies broke Major League Baseball, and he pointed out all the reasons why they were able to get to where they got. Dude, they just out-slugged everybody to get there. And again, us watching last year, it was kind of feast or famine. But the reason it was feast or famine, we didn't have a table setter. They go out this year, Dave Dombrowski goes out this year, brings in Trey Turner. Now you got that table setter. And the best part about it of all, he's a Brave killer. Guy kills the Atlanta Braves. When was the last time you could say that about a Philly? He kills the Atlanta Braves. He kills the Mets, too. Like, we actually have a guy in our lineup that does damage to those two teams. Like, I can't remember a time, really. I can't remember a guy really in our lineup, man. Wait, I'm just waving my Japanese flag. How about my family? LOL. It was Phillies versus Japan in the Classic. It sure was. Paul's cousin, Shohei, had pitched really good in that game, man. I'm pretty sure. Like, Paul had the best of both worlds now. When Paul was watching that game, he had Paul had a bowl of rice with whatever type of meat he put in there, and then he had some hot dogs grilled up on some buns right next to it. He was doing that. I love Paul, but he was kind of eating both. He was double dipping. I know you were, Paul. But congratulations to Japan too. They are now I believe, they are they're the only team, they're the only country now to win 2 WBCs, which is good for them, man. And I'll tell you what, they had a squad too. They had a squad. It was a really good WBC. And I'll tell you what, some of the Latin countries in there, I thought had some really good teams. Venezuela, I thought was pretty good. Mexico was really good. Cuba, also pretty powerful. Puerto Rico was pretty good. There was just some really good baseball games on. He was definitely rooting for Japan. Oh, most definitely. Paul had the kamikaze, rice and cheeseburgers, best of both worlds, and then had an extra bowl of rice. Jesus God, Paul. Ugh. Just the sound of that, dude. My stomach's in knots. But honestly, I'm not one of those guys. To be honest with you, I kind of feel like this should be played between November and the start of spring training. Around that time. Give them about, World Series ends in the first week. Let's have him go down to Florida and start playing. You know, I think playing it in spring training kind of takes away from it. It really does. But I guess after a long season, some guys will be beat up. Probably not want to pitch or do anything. Excuse me, guys. I have the really bad hiccups. Excuse me 1 second. Oh, wow. Oh, not a sponsor. They need to be. Oh, sorry about that. Have a little pocket there. But yeah, I mean, when you're sitting back and you're looking at this baseball, there was a lot of really good teams, man, and there really are super teams, man, and it felt really good too because these guys weren't playing for money. They were playing for the country across their chest, and it meant something to them. If you listen to the guys who played for Team Japan, it meant everything to them for them to go out and win this. For the United States, it meant everything for those guys on this team to go out and win this. And I'm going to give a little kudos, man, to my fighting Phils, the 3 Phils that were on that team. With Turner, of course, and then you had Schwarber and Real Muto. They looked really good. They represented us very well, and I'll tell you what, man. Like I said, if this is what we have coming to us this summer with Trey Turner, holy cow, it's going to be a really good. This Phillies offense is going to rake, man. It is good to practice. It's good practice for them, but I would rather the team work on chemistry. Yeah, I believe that too, because now, like, Turner's only got like 2 weeks to come here. No, not even. I think they start next week. So he's literally got a week to get in some reps with his teammates. So, out of the box. Speaking of sponsors coming soon, Monkey Colt Coffee. Use the promo code coming soon. I want to try that. Dude, Eddie, Monkey Colt Coffee. Yeah, definitely. I definitely got to try that. That sounds really good. So there will be a promo code coming soon. Again, here at Out of the Box, you just never know. We have some pretty good sponsors, though. I got to say that. You will see the video at the end of the show. But yeah, I mean, turn it into I'm looking forward here. Like I said, as far as the Phillies go, I mean, to me, I still think the Braves are the best in the division. Until you dethrone them, they're the team to beat. I'm wondering how much this injury situation now for the Mets and the Phillies now, because now, both of them were both really kind of reeling off injuries right now. And I believe the Braves have gotten better. And I think the Braves are going to be out for a little bit of revenge, too, this season. I mean, the Phillies kind of smacked them around in the postseason last year. Like, the Braves were that team. They won the division. They didn't have to play really kind of in that first round. And then the Phillies just came in and just smacked the hell out of them. Like, the Phillies really took it to them in that brief 4-game set. Like, I need coffee, but I can't pass up the bourbon-infused coffee. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's bourbon-infused? Oh, that's even better. Oh, even better. You make iced coffees with that? Oh, beautiful. I can even watch baseball now. Oh, speaking of baseball, guys, starting on, I don't know what date it is, but on Tuesday nights, our very own Joe Sullivan and Euro Paul will be hosting a baseball show right here on Out of the Box. I do believe Paul will let me know the emails, or he will send me over the information for that. I would definitely get it to you. But guys, make sure you guys want to tune in for that. They'll be discussing everybody, in baseball, even your prospects. I know, Joe, we did a post-production last night after College Football Frenzy. Joe was telling us about it. So make sure you give Joe and your Paul, make sure you guys tune into them, especially I know a lot of people who love baseball. Make sure you tune in. You can talk about your favorite prospects, your team, whatever team it is. They're going to talk about everybody, man. It's not just going to be just a Philly show. They're going to be covering all the Major League Baseball. Hell, I'm going to be tuning in because I want to hear about some of these top prospects. So make sure you definitely do that. I do know it will be Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Hopefully, I just find out when it will, but one of those guys will make the decision or they'll let you know. We'll let you know when it'll be, but it's definitely coming. So, but I mean, we're inching closer to the start of the season every Tuesday, 8 p.m. extra innings. There you go. So I don't know if Big Mike, what's up, bro? Bummed out about Reese. Yes. Speaking of the devil, there is DeJohn himself. Yes, I am bummed about Reese, but I will say this. I do think offensively, I think Alec Boehm and Derek Hall can both pick it up for him. I think they can pick up for Reese's production. So, and it actually gives the Phillies a little, hey, Mike, Faith and I are at the Flyers game, tied at 3 in second intermission. Wow. Flyers put up 3 goals before the second intermission? Shocking. Don't worry, no, they'll find a way to lose it. But, Dave, I hope you and Faith have a good time at the game. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Philly season. I really do. I know it's a marathon. And the best part about it is the games are going to mean more now in the division because there's not as many. They dropped that, I believe it was from 19 to 12, I think. I think it's 12 now. So it's, they break it up into however many, but it's 12 games. It's 12 per team now. So, and everybody plays everybody. So I think that's pretty cool too. So whoever you don't see here this year, next year will be coming to Citizens Bank Park, which is kind of cool. So, with that being said, we are going to move on. We have another team. No, not the Birds. That's last, Paul. There we go. This is the team we got to talk about here. Little scared last night. James Harden not playing. His Achilles acting up. And then Joel Embiid goes down with tightness in his calf. Luckily for the Sixers, they get a rebound last night. Blow out the Bulls big time in Chicago. But a really, really hard road trip is now on the horizon for the Sixers. Tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, they go play the Golden State Warriors in Oakland. Hall may be able to bash right-handed pitching, but he can probably hit 20 bombs in a platoon. Yeah, Joe, you're right about that. That's why I think between Hall and Boehm, they'll be able to make up. They'll be just fine making up Reese's production there. Here we go. Matches checking in. Can't wait to check out extra innings. Me neither. Matches. I can't wait to see it either. I'll tell you what. Sixers -3 in revenge last night was stealing the money. Oh, Joe was cashing in last night. He was cashing in. My man's going to be, he's going to be buying a lot of happy lappies this weekend when him and Euro Paul hit the town. But extra innings is awesome. I can watch extra innings while watching extra innings package on TV. There you go, Eileen. There you go. You can have your favorite games on. And while you got your favorite games on, you can have Sully and Euro Paul on discussing baseball. And but getting back to the Sixers trip, really 3 big games coming up in a matter of really 4 days if you take a look at it. They finish with they start out with they start out with Golden State tomorrow night. And really it's a back-to-back Golden State and Phoenix. And then they finish up Monday with the MVP matchup between the Sixers and the Nuggets. So I'm interested to see how they come out tomorrow night, especially with Embiid, with him going down. So hopefully Harden can be able to play. I don't think, sort of like cashing in on Korea and overseas cricket. I've got to get. I know Paul's on here a lot, but we got to get him to do an out of the box betting show. My God, if you people see some of the things that Paul Spencer bets on, holy shit! Wow. But Sean Curran says, "What's up, Mike? Let's go Kansas State, baby." Let's not and say we did, Sean, but I'm glad. Thank you for checking in. I'm rooting for the mighty Sparties tonight. So I am not rooting for them. And my pick to win it all, the UConn Huskies were winning at one point in time. They were kind of dominating Arkansas. They were doubling them. It was like 34 to like 17, the last score I had seen. So hopefully my pick still ends up. I did take UConn to win it all. So with that, like I said, but this 4-game series coming up now with the Sixers, it's really going to say a lot about them. Things haven't been going that right. Wrong show name, laughed my butt off. I don't know what you mean by that, Bubba, but okay. But anyway, I just like I said, we were sitting around and we were discussing things at my job today, and we were talking about the Sixers. And I'll tell you what, I think guys like D'Anthony Melton kind of got to step up a little bit now. As much as you gotta kind of lean on your bench a little bit maybe in these next 2 games, considering they are back to back. Now it looks like both Harden and Embiid are both banged up. I'm looking for Tobias Harris and Maxey to kind of elevate their games a little bit, give them some production. UConn 46-29 at the half. Loving it. Thank you, Out of the Box Sports. Love it. Go Huskies, go. But, yeah, if they can get out of this with you figured it would be 5 games. If they can come out 3-2, I'd be happy with that, considering the West Coast. If they can go 2-1 on this West Coast swing, it would be pretty good. It's going to be kind of tough, though. Like I said, they got to play in Oakland and then come over. Bubby says, Mike, what was your thoughts on WBC? I thought the WBC was awesome. I just feel like they shouldn't have it at spring training time. I feel like they should have it after the postseason. But then again, I could see why they kind of have it when they do, because players are just coming back. They give them a couple weeks to get their arms loose and stuff. Just doing it around spring training now, I just feel like it takes time away from guys getting acclimated with their teams, especially guys that are coming from one situation into another, like a Trey Turner, and besides, I think it would kind of really help baseball if they did it at the end of the season. Like, can you imagine that? They take it like 3 weeks off or whatever and, start up the World Baseball Classic. Give these guys a chance to relax their bodies for a few weeks and then start up. Even if you did it in December. If you did that in December and played that game, played that series leading up into like New Year's, dude, you would get killer ratings for that. And then you would have the whole month off. They would have a month off. After that, they can go back and do whatever they need to do, have the month off, and then go. Then go head back down to Florida. I just feel like doing it in spring training, it hinders. If a guy gets hurt and it's already at the end of the year and he's playing for that, now, he's going to maybe miss the start of the next season, but he won't be out. Guys like Edwin Diaz, who got hurt, and now he's gone for the whole year. Where if this would have been at the end of last year, he would have been already had a surgery and already been on the road to recovery. You know what I mean? And they would have been able to get him back by the All-Star break. So that's all I mean. The timing of it. Maybe they got to find a suitable way. I actually heard a great idea for the baseball, for this WBC. And it had to do around the All-Star game. And the way they made it seem like is you basically give everybody in MLB a week off, have these guys play the games, and then the four teams, you have them do it in spring training, but the 4 teams that make the finals, you have them come back All-Star week. You have the home run derby, the All-Star game, and then you have one semifinal one night, one semifinal. It says the YouTube name says Fight Club. Yeah. The stream kind of flips like that. It's okay though. I mean, I put it up there. People already know. So, but and it would be. Since your Puerto Rican friends were mad though, yeah. Well, listen, man, that's really. I feel like it's a good idea to do it spring training so that the prospects can prove themselves more. I don't know, man. I mean, to me, I don't like the fact that they do it during spring training. During spring training, like I said, you get guys like this, like Diaz, who gets hurt, and now he's going to miss the whole year. You know what I mean? I would rather him get hurt in November, the third week in November, than to get hurt first week of March. First week of March, he's done for the year. He gets done in November. He's already had his surgery. He's already been rehabbing for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? He can get back. So to me, I would push it off. I really would. But getting back though, what the idea that was brought up actually on radio today. It's a week long, and more or less it's just you have the All-Star game. Then the night after the All-Star game, you have the one semifinal. The other semifinal would be the Tuesday. The other semifinal would be the Wednesday. You have Thursday off, and then the game is on Saturday. You have the two finalists play on Saturday, boom, and then it's done. Yeah, Bob, that's what I started the show off with. Rhys Hoskins is done for the year. Then this time you don't get the best players in the USA playing. Yeah, you do, Paul. Yeah, you do. There would be a lot of guys that would continue on. It's if all this is scheduling, they can schedule whatever. Like I said, if you're going to play and if you're done by the first week of December, they still got the rest of December, all January, and then the first week of February before they have to start getting ready to report back. I just don't feel having it beforehand. To me, it's just the timing of it. I just don't feel like the timing of it is cool. Like, where was the pitching? Yeah, well, the pitching's definitely going to suffer with that because the pitching, I always feel like pitching's the last thing to come of age. That's why pitchers, if you take notice, pitchers always report like at least a week before. Pitchers and catchers report like a week and a half, 10 days to 2 weeks before the rest of the players do because it takes them so much longer to get stretched out and throw. And if you take a look, like some of these dominating pitchers other than Ohtani, I think that dude's just a machine. That dude, he looked like the only one that was ready. Now, there was a couple guys from, different squads that looked really good, but they weren't major league arms. They were minor league arms. There's a couple. Like I said, I didn't watch all of the games, all the WBC games. I caught as many as I could, but the ones that I caught were very, very good. And that's another thing, too. Like, they got to stop. If you're going to put this on, okay, I want to see all of these games. Like, to me, it looked like Fox was only putting on the USA games. I think one game I saw there was something. At least you have. Don't hear that, Narc. Sure, when the Phillies are in Citi Field. Yeah. What up, Linda? I live near the mid spring training and right. That's all teams. They all pitchers and catchers first. Yeah, they do. Their seasons are long over there. And Paul, you know what they do to cap it off, right? And it's been a tradition for many years now, which I didn't know. There is a team of all-stars that come from the United States, from the major leagues. They go to Japan and they play a best of 7 over there. They play a best of 7 series. They take the Major League All-Stars and they go over there and they play a best of 7 against the Japanese All-Stars. And it goes on, and I guess they do the different stadiums in Japan, but the last one's always if it gets to a game 7, the last one's always the Tokyo Dome. So that would be kind of cool, I guess. And they've been doing it forever. I heard Charlie Manuel talk about it because that's how Charlie Manuel actually got an invite back to a major league camp. He was over playing in Japan, and he was like hitting the hell. Like he was like a major home run hitter over there. Out of the box. Road trip to Japan, Paul? That's one hell of a road. Is there a road that leads there? Mike, sorry I changed the subject from basketball to baseball. That's all right, Bob. Hey, look, I said what I had to say on the Sixers, so you're not really changing it. You were trying to catch up. And I don't mind doing that. It's what I'm here for, man. It's what I'm here for. But we are going to move on now to the NFL, which is still going crazy. More rumors, more people visiting. I wouldn't know. Took a boat over many moons ago. Paul Street road trip. Oh man. Oh, Pepsi Zero. You need to be a sponsor. You just saw me drink it, so obviously I like your product. Sponsor us. So, I would love to go to a game in the Tokyo Dome. The fans seem to be passionate all over. I mean, you can ask next time Paul's on, whether it's the 215 boys or the Fight Club. By a matter of fact, Fight Club's following me tonight. There you go. Make sure you ask Paul because Paul watches Korean baseball at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Ask him how the fan base is there. I hear they're crazy. I'm in bed usually sleeping by then, but Paul's watching. So, all right, Eagles free agency and news. Boy, we got some doozies. Bijan Robinson, the running back from Texas, visited yesterday. And from what I understand, he had a really good trip here. Kind of liked the facility. Eagles kind of liked him. And today they had Vogenbaum. Yeah, Vogenbaum. It starts even at the Little League World Series. The fans are the most passionate and sincere. Yeah. I want to do that one time in my life. I just want to go to the Little League World Series. I don't care. And I think it's cool. Before I get back on to the Eagles, we're still going to talk this baseball. I think it's cool that Major League Baseball sends 2 teams a year there to go play in the Little League Classic. I think it's awesome. I actually wanted to go out there a couple years ago. I believe it was the Phillies and the Mets played out there. Would have loved to go out there for that because it just looks so awesome. I go everywhere, road trip. Paul's everywhere. But yeah, it's I'm trying to remember this kid's name that visited the Eagles today. Where the heck is it at? Eagles. There we no, that's not it. Oh. Well, anyway, speaking of that, off topic, but this Kansas is wild. Good. I hope Michigan State pulls back in and beats them. Seems like a familiar foe wants to come play for the Birds. He's been listed. He listed them as one of the 3 teams he'd like to play for. Ezekiel Elliott, as we affectionately call him here in Philly, the Mad Ewok, wants to come play here. I wouldn't be against it. And, I know some of our counterparts here at Out of the Box would be happy to give us him. I don't look at it as really kind of a negative. Really, Jayhawks, 82-80. Okay. Oh, no. That's all right. It happens. Just stay close, baby. Come on, Tommy Izzo. But, yeah, reading the reports that he definitely wants to come play for the Birds. And honestly, I wouldn't think that would be a bad flyer on him if Howie could take a pick and if they can get the money right. Why not bring him here? You have him, you put him in the mix with Gainwell and Trey Sermon and Boston Scott. Put him behind our offensive line. You don't need to feature him as a back. You can let him know, like, hey, you're going to be our pounding back. Kenny's going to be our scat back. Boston's going to be our scat back. We got another big back right behind you in Trey who can give you a blow. And you got Rashad Penny. I almost forgot Rashad Penny. So, I mean, I don't think he'll come to the Eagles. I really don't. I think I can see him going to New York, but even then, I think if he goes to New York, I think him and Breece Hall could be one hell of a combo. And Aaron Rodgers going there, with Aaron Rodgers being his quarterback, and Zeke can pick up a blitz. He got trucked on that last play in the playoffs, but them 205. I just packed Zeke shit up his house and said, "Get stepping." He said, "Okay, I'm going to the Jets." But you know what? I could definitely see him ending up there. And I think him and Brees Hall, that'd make a pretty good 1-2 punch. Kind of give the Jets kind of what they were missing last year when Brees went down. And Brees Hall won't have to take much of a beating either. You can split the beatings between him and Zeke. That wouldn't be a bad pickup for the Jets. I think if he goes to Cincinnati, it's only because he wants to play close to home. He's from Ohio originally. So when he went to Ohio State, so maybe that might be a thing if he goes to Cincy, but Cincy's offensive line's atrocious. So, all right, overtime. Let's go, Fighty. Let's go, Mighty Sparty. Let's go. Fight on. So, I mean, the way I look at it is this. I mean, it's cool that Zeke wants to come here, but to be honest with you, yeah, I could care less about him coming. Excuse me. The Eagles also hosted Keanu Neal today, former free safety and linebacker from the Cowboys and the Saints, or Cowboys and the Falcons. He was here today. They hosted him on a visit, so hopefully they may be trying to get him signed as well. So, I mean, I'm looking to see who else they're going to have checking in. Like I said, I'm just checking up on the Birds right now with the latest with them. So how do you feel about it? I mean, also rumors being too that, believe it or not, the linebacker from the Tampa Bay, what the hell was his name? Devin White, was it? Was it Devin White that was calling for that? I'm trying to look for it. I believe it was Devin White. They were talking about, like, he's like saying he wants to get traded to the Eagles. And I was like, no. Yeah, there it is. What is it? Yeah, Devin White hinting at a trade to the Birds. The linebacker from Devin White. Yeah. He's hinting at a thing that he's trying to come to the Eagles. He's hitting. I like the signing yesterday too. The kid from Chicago that they picked up. So I think he's kind of underrated. So so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm over the whole CJ, Gardner Johnson not being here. Morrow from the Bears, yeah. I like that. I think it's an underrated signing. Come in here, play with Dean. If you can get Devin White to come in here too, it'd be pretty cool. The one thing I saw last night, though, and it was right as we were going off the air here when we were talking about, when we were talking, we were kind of covering the AFC North here, and I saw something go across my Twitter feed about Antoine Winfield Jr., also down in Tampa, too. Got 1 year left on this deal. Kind of looking to get out of Tampa. He wants to re-up, but they don't have the money or the cap space to try to sign him. That could be something else, too, you can look out for them with Howie trying to get him up here. So, I mean, the only problem with the Eagles is they don't have no fourth and fifth round picks this year. And I think they have 1/3. So it's like their middle round picks are kind of depleted. Now, they could trade back one of their picks and gather some more picks up, which, like I said, if you were watching me and Paul when we were talking last week when I brought Paul in to talk, I wanted to I kind of have it in my mind now that, I think the Eagles are going to take the best player available at 10, but I wouldn't be surprised if they drop back a few spots either. I believe there's going to be a rush on linemen, quarterbacks, and I can see Bijan Robinson, dropping back. What do you think about Juju going to the Pats? I think it's going to help Mac Jones out a hell of a lot. Juju's a possession receiver now. He's not a burner anymore. But I will tell you this: he will help Mac Jones out. Like if he throws when Mac Jones throws the ball to him, he's going to be able to catch it. And I think you guys losing Damian Harris is going to hurt a little bit. I know you guys still got Ramon Stevenson up there, but Damian Harris was kind of your bell cow, and that's kind of weird, though, right? He ended up going to Buffalo. That killed me, boy. Offer the 30th pick for White. Eagles have that up. No, I would never give the 30th pick up for White. He's on the last year of his deal too. Both him and Winfield. I'm not new. No, you're not getting a first round pick for a guy who can walk next season. Nope. The best you'll get out of me is a mid round pick, 4th, 5th round. And then we saw that this year, like with some of the trades with guys that have, the Eagles will have an opportunity to re-sign them, but I'm not going to. Look, the Pats are going to lose a lot of players. Yeah. Trust me, I'm an Eagles fan. I know. We just watched half our defense walk out the door. Literally, half of our starting defense left already in free agency. So I know what you mean. But getting back to some of these guys, I'm hearing a lot of stuff. And to be honest with you, it's kind of cool that they brought Keanu Neal in to take a look at him. It's cool that they're flirting with maybe bringing in, Antoine Winfield Jr. or, Devin White. But there's a guy out there, too, that I would bring back, and it probably wouldn't cost you that much. And he's familiar with our town. He's played here. Was on the Super Bowl team. Had a pretty decent year last year in Indianapolis. Wasn't bad. And that would be Rodney McLeod. Why not bring back Rodney McLeod? Bubby's saying that the Pats are going to be average as best. Well, hey, look, man. My son chiming in saying the Pigeons are going down this year. As long as you got Danny Dimes, dude, he's like, as long as you guys got Danny Dimes, I don't have to worry about nothing. The 205 boys says, I hope Zeke goes to the Texans since they have room for Noah Brown and Schultz. The new Texans triangle. LOL. Hey, what's up with that, man? These Cowboys, these former Cowboy players, they leave. They just love Texas so much, they just drive south and just stay in the state. So, you can trust in Dable all you want. You got freaking Danny Dimes throwing your football. As long as you got him throwing your football, I ain't worried about that. Mike, I thought that you were going to say Carson Wentz. I was going to say you were crazy. No. Even though he didn't win the Super Bowl. Nah. I was Rodney McLeod talking defense. That's funny, though, because, Carson's got some looking in the mirror to do, man. If he goes anywhere, he's going to have to be a backup. And I know a lot of people think I'm crazy when I say this. Do not be surprised if you see Carson Wentz in Carolina. Frank Reich is the head coach. Deuce Staley is his offensive coordinator. Do not be surprised if you see Carson Wentz get picked up as a backup in Carolina. I know they're going to go with the young guy, C.J. Stroud. With that number 1 overall pick, it's looking more and more like that. We thought they were going to take defense. Wentz already got killed by Philly in the media. Never seen a city destroy a man so bad. He kind of brought it on himself. So, and you think that's bad now? Wait till your bum-ass quarterback's got to play a second, a meaningful schedule next year. Boy, I think the Giants are in for a wake-up call this year. Don't get it wrong. They still don't have no receivers. They still don't have any receivers. He still don't have nobody to throw to. At least they went out and got him Darren Waller. So the rookie tight end, they had Bellinger this year. Bellinger and Waller. You got a decent fit there. But other than that, and I do like their tackles. They got 2 young tackles, in Thomas and Neal. So I think they're building in the right. They're going to get better. It's just going to take them another year or so. Oh man, this show will be a good fun show when we do the NFC East this year. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. You got the 215 boys, myself, Joey Sullivan, and then you got the crew over at over at Big Blue. Big Blue Power Hour, them guys, my son Danny and Stacy. It's always fun when we all get together. It's a hoot. We try not to get banned or barred. Every time we get together, all of us get together, Paul gets a memo about something. But I'll tell you what. Yes, and we even found Paul even found a Commanders fan, which, by the way, they will be joining us this upcoming football season. So we got the whole NFC East covered. Flyers are tied 4-4. Holy cow, they scored 4 goals tonight. Wow. The band squad. I don't know what that means, but guys, listen, man. This has been if you really just got to tune in out of the box. We have something for everybody. We are like the smorgasbord of podcasting. Like, we don't care. We will rip on each other. My own kid is a Giants fan. I should have put him up for adoption. I know. Horrible parenting by me. So, both I got to be on the Eagles side for that show. I tell my son all the time he ate paint chips as a kid, and his response is, "You fed him to me." So, but listen. Like I said, here we have something for everybody. Like I said, we got the new extra innings show coming with Euro Paul and Joe Sullivan. Like I said, I can't wait for that. So as far as this Eagle news is going, guys, I really want to know. There it is. NFC Showdown coming soon. That should be pretty good. Yeah, that poor kid. Yeah, that's all right. I got my grandson running around saying "Fly, Eagles, fly," so I'm getting revenge on his ass. But yeah, getting back to this thing with the birds, man. I would take a real flyer on Roddy McLeod. I don't think it's going to cost you that much for him to come in. He can play the position. My son, Eagles equal property franchise should have been the Stars. Boy, you don't even know nothing about the Stars. I had to educate you. And here he goes. Oh, hold on. You mean that poverty franchise? Out of the last 15 years, that's what, 26-5 against your bum ass Giants? Go sit down. Back in the corner you go. We beat you 3 times this year. You can't talk no crap on the Eagles. You got beat not once, not twice, but 3 times. 3 times you got beat. And 2 of them were butt whoopings. Go sit down. Take your lick and go sit down. Back to the corner you go. Yeah. I think I'm going to do a thing with his pitcher, making him sing "Fly Like an Eagle." I mean, he already had to wear a pink cowboy hat. Ain't not much more we can do to him. Paul, maybe we should get together and we should do a bet with him. We can have him looking like a bald Uncle Fester. Oh, man. I'll tell you. Now I know why. Yeah, see? Look at that. Lawrence Taylor jersey on with that beautiful pink cowboy hat on. I'm going to make him shave his head. He's going to look like a bald Uncle Fester. And I'm going to make him shave those 3 chin hairs he got. But no, Rodney McLeod definitely want to bring him back. Even if they do kind of decide, and I think the reason why they signed Greedy Williams is to have Greedy Williams come in and play the slot. I do. I think with that, he's tall, lanky. Yeah, he's been banged up a lot, but you got to take a look at really who he's played for. So I don't know what 2-1. That's all that matters. But he's going to bring up Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowls to 1. Yeah, well, ours are more shinier than your 2, so have a seat. I make Jessica Simpson jealous. No, you probably make Lisa Simpson jealous, but that's about it. But yeah, I mean, to me, it would make more total sense, like I said, to bring in, I would, the Jayhawks. Hold on. They're playing Kansas State, right? That's the Cougars, man. Or not Cougars. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the Cougars. Jayhawks is Kansas. They already been eliminated. All right, so looks like 38 seconds left. They're gonna drive me nuts. Them two just that's been a hell of a game back and forth. But like I said, yeah, I would definitely Wildcats. Too much monkey cold coffee, dude. I'm so Paul. I want a shirt. Anything that says monkey cold coffee, I gotta have one. I gotta have a shirt. I'm gonna try the coffee. And I'm actually gonna do it. Whenever Paul gets it in, he's gonna send me some because we've already talked about this. I will make it live on the air and have an ice cold monkey cold. Ice cold. Yeah, I'll do it with iced coffee. See how it kicks. But yes. Whew. But yeah, definitely I would bring back Rodney. Like I said, I think with the signing of Greedy Williams, I think that was an underrated signing, by the way, because Ray Dinger, I was listening to him speak on Monday, and he was talking. He had him as the highest rated cornerback coming out of his draft. He had him the highest. And for the Eagles to get him, I think it's just I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. They got him. He got banged up a little bit. Like I said, these guys, a couple of these guys are on a prove it deal. Rashad Penny on a prove it deal because he's banged up. Greedy Williams on a prove it deal. So, I mean, with that being said, you can definitely Avonte Maddox has played safety. I could see them moving Avonte back to safety, putting Greedy in as the slot. Now you got all four of them on the field at the same time. I'm not against giving Reed Blankenship a shot. I'm not. I'm sorry, but right now I think Reed has earned the right to start over Kavon Wallace. And I was a big Kavon Wallace guy when he came out of college. I thought he was the next coming of Dawkins. Not the fact that they came from the same school, but the way the kid played in school. The way he played at Clemson, dude, he played like a beast. But again, your best ability is your availability, and Kavon Wallace has not been available. He's been banged up. Good early part of his career, and he just hasn't done enough to try to get on the field. And when he's on the field, the opposing team knows it, and he just looks lost out there. So I don't know. Maybe with this new defense with Sean Desai, maybe Kavon Wallace can finally get it together and turn it around. I do have faith in him, but my faith is running really, really kind of short with him because he's already been through two defensive coordinators. And he couldn't get on the field. Like after a while, you got to kind of stop looking at the defenses they're running and the coordinators and start looking at the player. So, again, and I would like to see some of these. I'd like to see a couple of our special team guys get a shot too at playing some live action ball. I'd love to see Sean Bradley get a shot at playing middle linebacker. I don't think he stinks. I don't. I watched the guy play at Temple. I've seen him play at Temple. He played against some pretty good competition because at that time, that AAU was pretty damn good. I'd like to see him get a shot. A lot of people I know, this guy may not be a lot of people's cup of tea, but Derek Barnett will be back next year. Hopefully, he's able to come back and he's going to be able to contribute without the 15-yard penalties every game. Another guy, kind of gotta have faith in. Yeah, it doesn't always work out. You gotta have your faith in them, man. You gotta put your faith in. I just feel like when they're talking about this, the outside pass rush, Derek Barnett's getting forgotten about. I mean, he only played, I think it was the first snap or the first series, and then he got hurt this year. So it's going to take him a minute to come. He'll be ready to go. And I think that's an added bonus too. Like, here's a guy who's been around now a while, and he knows he's got other guys coming for a spot. Patrick Johnson's, you know, so now he knows that a guy that he kind of came in with, Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat's kind of taking over his spot. You see what I'm saying? So he'll be in that rotation along with Brandon Graham, Patrick Johnson. So I think the Eagles will be okay moving forward. But I do expect Howard to pull some signings, definitely some trades. I cannot wait for draft night. Draft night, I'm going to be all over the place. So between here, last year, if you guys remember, it was me, Paul, Joey Woods, and Joe Sullivan. We were in here watching the draft, going crazy with some of the stuff that was going on. It was nuts. We'll probably be doing it again this year. I cannot wait for that live draft show again this year. So I can't wait for it. We may have some other people popping on maybe this time. So it'll be kind of cool. But, well, guys, listen. We're going to run a little promo commercial right here. We got to pay the bills. So we're going to step aside for about the next 60 seconds or so. Then I'm going to have my final word when we come back. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Make sure you check out all of our content here over at Out of the Box. Don't forget, guys, tonight, Fight Club 215 will be on. I would imagine 10 o'clock. That's what time, Paul, that's their usual time. And the guy who I was thinking of who was visiting the Eagles today was Lucas Van Ness. He was the defensive end for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So he was visiting the Eagles today. So, again, we had Bijan Robinson yesterday visiting, Lucas Van Ness visiting today. I'm pretty sure they'll have a couple more people tomorrow. It's all part of the game. So, guys, once again, I'm Big Mike. This has been Big Mike's 4for4 Locker Room Podcast. Thank you so much for joining, and I will see you next Wednesday on College Football Frenzy.